In the second part of this module, we will learn about behaviors and how they will come to the rescue. We are using commands and they seem to enable that we can run or trigger code on the view model. But indeed, we are running into a limitation. Not every control, as you've seen, in fact most controls do not have built-in support for commanding. That is a big deal breaker, of course. As for all of these other controls, we would again need to manually invoke things through the use of code behind. Not where we want to go after putting in all this effort. But no fear, we have a solution in the form of behaviors in XAML. Now, before we see how they solve our issue, let's first make sure that we understand what they really are. Support for behaviors is not specific to Xamarin Forms. It's a XAML thing that was already introduced many years ago with WPF or Windows Presentation Foundation. Basically, a behavior can be used to add extra functionality or behavior onto an already existing control. So basically, through the use of a behavior, we can extend the functionality of existing controls. Now, you may be wondering, how is this going to help us with the problem at hand? Well, very good question. Allow me to explain. What if we write code that allows us to invoke code in the view model and wrap that in a behavior? Then we add that behavior onto an existing UI element and invoke the trigger when a UI event is happening. Well, that's exactly what we will do. We will create a behavior and we'll call it the event to command behavior. That will contain code that allows me to specify which command needs to trigger in response to a UI event being triggered. Exactly what we need. Behaviors are built into Xamarin Forms. The basic behavior contains a few methods we can use to create our custom behavior. The most important one is the onAttached_to. This will get called when the behavior is attached onto a control, and you will see this in the demo. Once we have our behavior, we can add it onto an existing control. Nearly each control in Xamarin Forms exposes a behaviors collection, to which we can add one or more behaviors. Here you can see that I'm adding our event to command behavior, which we'll create in the demo, onto the list view. I'll make sure that you understand all the code that you see here in the slide in the demo.